Oh, there we go. You know, I know there's a thing where I can flip it. It doesn't even matter, right? You guys, you're not reading anything on the screen. And this is so funny. I can't remember. Nope, that was the wrong direction. It's not like I've never done one of these before, but sometimes we forget. So, hey, Abbott Elementary. Hope the Tupperware is going well. I know it's not really the real stuff. I think the real stuff's pretty cool. I went to the Tupperware. Actually, you might be interested in this, like the Tupperware headquarters somewhere on the west coast of Florida. My husband and I went there once a number of years ago. I covered it for Retro Roadmap, but you might dig that. Good morning, Pam and Ma and Amy and Teen Girly and Rena and Nina Mac and Kia. Nice to see you. Hey, everybody. I'm trying to adjust. I love air conditioning, but when it's blowing on me, not so much. Here's what I'm doing though. Here, I'm sharing all my secrets with you. Not even secrets, but just clues that these things may help you. Get yourself feeling good comfortably, however that looks and feels like to you, before you get started with anything. The more comfortable you are, the more less activated your nervous system is, the more, right temperature. You don't have stuff stuck in your teeth. Maybe you took a shower. Now, I was going to take a shower. I ran out of time. I did a few things between my last session and this. No big deal. I'll take one before I go and get a pedicure. Ooh, check me out, getting a pedicure. Here's a really fun thing a fun/funny thing I want to share with you guys. I almost did a video for it, and I was like, nah, this isn't even worth a TikTok video, but it's just hysterical because it cracked me up. Me being Beth, Destination Decluttered Life Coach, or Decluttering Life Coach. Can I even speak today? So this is what happened to me this morning. I did some coaching. I was working on some stuff, getting some scheduled things done. Really quickly, if you're on the email mailing list, I'm going to send out a good one today. I've got some first dibs on some things, some ideas. There's going to be a good email, okay? There we go, 80s Amazon 7. I'm so excited I caught you. I watched a YouTube episode, but it needed more company. Here you go. You, boom, asked for it, you got it, Toyota. So here's what cracked me up. I'm sitting here at my desk, right? And I'm writing down stuff because as I said, I don't suggest these things and then not do them myself. And I also I have on occasion, and it came up on a TikTok live, repurposing something. So what somebody said, I use coffee mugs that I don't use anymore for coffee. I will use them to hold pens and pencils in and stuff. And I said, I do too. I have this one in particular. You may have seen it from previous episodes. And this is one I got in Ireland, and I keep my highlighters in it. And the reason I have highlighters is because when I schedule out my days, nice and informally and whatever, I like to color code just 4 main categories to make sure that I'm factoring in fun and good stuff and space in between things. So I was busy doing that, and I wasn't really thinking. And I put my, I had used some of my highlighters, so they're out on the desk, and I thought, oh, I'll tidy up, and I will put them back where they belong, into their home, getting in the habit of putting things back where they belong, all right? But I wasn't really paying attention, and you guys, this cracked me up. I ended up by accident, putting my highlighters into my actual teacup. See that? It's got tea in it. Oh my God, I cracked up. As soon as I did it, I heard a splash, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. These things are going to happen to you. You're going to not be fully concentrating on what you're doing. Excuse me. Wait, picking up a fallen soldier. You're not going to be... This is what happens a lot of times when we are distracted, when we are not paying attention to what we're doing. We do something that ends up kind of goofy. You put something in the wrong place. You put something away when you're not thinking about it. Now, trust me, I'm not saying you've got to think about these things all the time, but it increases the likelihood that you're going to get good stuff done if you just kind of slow down and pay attention to stuff. And I only say slow down because I know sometimes that we're all like, I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that. When your wheels are spinning, even just slowing them down, putting the gas pedal down, pressing down on the gas pedal. Ooh, that's another good down I have. Slowing down. So how about that, you guys? How about today, we're in a car. No, let's say we're on a bus. I'm a bus driver today, and for the next 55 minutes, if you choose, you can hop on my bus. Where am I driving? I'm going to show you the sights. I'm going to show you the sounds. I'm going to inform you about what it's like to live a decluttered life. But instead of just showing that off, because that would be annoying to me after a while, because this is not about me, it's you, I will take questions from the people in the bus and be like, hey, what's stopping you from getting to your destination decluttered? It's going to be fun. This is what I do. I'm a one-on-one decluttering life coach. I also do TikTok lives like this. My TikTok lives are recorded. Somebody mentioned up thread how they saw one of the recordings. I also have a mailing list. So if you can't hang around, but you're like, oh, this sounds interesting, you can even just follow my TikTok page, or you can do nothing. It's really up to you. Yep, all aboard for Cupcake Island, people. So where we're going to Destination Decluttered. What does it look like? It looks delightful to my eyes. Everything is in its place. I have a place for everything. And the quantity and quality of things that I have in my home are chef's kiss, just right for me. I want the same for you. I want you to think of where your destination would be. Okay. I love it. Lori Hannah, great question. Heard you mention Trello before. I got the app. Can you talk about how you use it? Oh my God, I would love to talk about how I use Trello. Seriously, I freaking love it. If anything, part of me is like, ooh, maybe I could do like a little seminar type dealy for people on the mailing list and obviously my clients. Let me just check my calendar, but really quickly, let's talk about like, hey, look over there in the right side of the bus. There's something they might help you declutter and get your thoughts organized, and it's called Trello. Now, Trello, I learned about it a number of years ago. It's basically a very simple to use, though it's got a bunch of bells and whistles that I rarely use. It's a really simple, easy way to make lists and be able to access lists, make checklists, move things around, categorize things. I use this all the time. And Marley, I'm glad you love my lives and I inspire you so much. Oh yeah, we need a Trello class. Okay, a trellis class. I don't know about trellises, but I get what you're saying. I am literally just over here looking at my calendar to see when I might be able to do an in-depth one. Maybe. All right. You know what? I love it when I hear from you guys. I'm going to put, Trello webinar. I don't know what you call it. That's seminar. Those are all boring. Workshop. I like workshop. A fun shop would be a little bit too much. But Trello is basically I use the free version and I use it to create lists because I have so much up here that if I tried to hold it up here, it's way too cluttered and I couldn't think. Okay. What it is basically and I could show you this because I have my Trello board right here. It is a way for you to create kind of a list with a header. Think of it as a shopping list, and you're going to a certain store. So here's your list for Target. Here's your list for the grocery store. Here's your list for the library. I don't know. And underneath that one list you make on a board, it's like a board. You make a list, and mine says, current travel, or growing my business, or future stuff, or I call this one calendar my colander. It's kind of like a slush fund, but what I say is when I have an idea, I make a little card. It's really easy. It just says add a card and I can type it in, but here's the thing I love about it, okay? The thing I love about using Trello is I can also use it on my phone. What I do is if I have an idea, especially when I'm walking around, because I pretty much have my phone with me all the time because I use it as my pedometer because I'm trying to pay attention how much I get steps in. I can text myself a message and it goes on Trello and it goes on the list. And then I can move it from list to list. I can move it up and down just by moving it with my finger. It's very flexible. And when I'm done with things, I can archive them. I can delete them. I can add sub lists to them. And it allows me to get my thoughts down from my head, down onto paper, so they're not cluttering up my head. The great thing about it is then I can also see it from a distance. Right now, I see a thing that says basement list. This is totally not kidding. Basement list. So I went down our basement and I walked around and I talked to myself. And what did I say? I said, bring stuff to Goodwill. Break down boxes in recycle bin. Tidy up your stuff on the pink carpet side. That's for my husband. Let's see if we can move the safe back in after digging out the dirt. Get the shop vac down here for cobwebs and dust. Get the Casio tone out of here. I will go through my table of stuff, take pictures of the red bureau and wacky packs and see if Jess wants it. I will better store and organize our tax paperwork. I will better store and organize the paper that needs to be shredded. I will move the extra shelf next to the hardware to better use the space. And then I was like, what's the deals with the Sharps box? I have a little list of things that I just made, and I got it out of my head. I don't want to keep lists in my head. I need to see them. And when my list is not in my head, but it's somewhere I can look at it, either on my computer or on my phone, then I'm more likely to be remembered and get it done. Okay? There we go. Yeah, Tiffany. So yes, my issue is, notice what your issues are. Notice the words that follow it. And I'll say this, I don't think Abbott Elementary will mind me calling her out. When you find yourself in the habit of saying, well, my problem is, well, my thing is, my issue is, and then notice what follows, because that's where we hang out in coaching. We solve the problems. We discover what the issues are, and we change it so it's not an issue. And a lot of it has to do with just practice and habits. Okay? Yeah, my solution is, if this is your habit, this is my solution. Okay, thank you, Abbott Elementary. And it's just one of these things, you get in the habit of thinking, well, here's the problem. Here's the deal. Here's the problem. We all probably have a riff on saying this. I know I have been alerted to things that I didn't realize were a verbal habit of mine. And boy, then I found myself saying it all the time. Okay? So if your issue is getting things out of your head and onto a list, do this. Slow down. Take the time. Slow down. Get the stuff out of your head, down onto paper, and you'll feel better. Every time you think you've got too much up here, be like, oh, it's full, my brain is full, and dump it down. Write it down so in one place. And also, especially if you're doing this, try to pick one place that's easy to do it. Practice if you're writing stuff down, not Post-its everywhere, but maybe in one book you have it. Maybe you, instead of like a Trello thing, would be a page that says, the basement, and you make a list and you cross it out. Yeah, don't resist the list. A list, to me, the list is so great. A list from top to bottom is kind of like a shopping list. The things you need, you list them here. But if you turn a list on its side, this is what I think is really fun, because I love to talk about road trips. A list on its side is really a map. I'm here, and if I do these things on this list, I'm going to get to my destination. Yeah, see? Full brain, Post-its. How do I know your life? Because I do the same thing. I mean, trust me. See this right here? I have a handful of Post-its right there. I'm okay with them, but after a while, you don't see them. After a while, you don't see them. Now, these are just notes to self that I could easily put on Trello for me to incorporate new things into my coaching, because the more I learn, the better coach I am for my clients. So when I think of a good idea, I want to capture it. I want to write it down so I don't forget. So notice this. I love this. Mother of Three Pearl says, I took your challenge to not repeat an outfit all month when I get dressed to go out. I love it. I want to hear how that went. Yeah, Angel Girl says, I love this too. Doing it already today. I love lists because I get to cross things off. Yes. I like to do a check mark with a flourish, or I'll do a scribble, I'm not going to go to the thing. Oh, look, I'm doing a TikTok live. You guys check it out. It's blue. Check. I did on it, There we go. Yeah, Skate Life. I have a book with Post-its and notes in it, and then I threw away the Post-it notes away. It works great. Yeah, sometimes if you have an inspiration, and I think about this, my husband does the same thing. He's a songwriter. He will get up out of bed and he will run to his phone and just hum the song or the words, whatever come to him, whatever is going through him, so he can capture it so he doesn't forget it. Yeah. Okay, Rena is asking for tips for organizing miscellaneous storage closets. First of all, or places that sell inexpensive storage bins. No. I will not even talk about bins and ways to do that until we do the decluttering. Decluttering always comes before storing. Decluttering has an element of organization, but decluttering has to come before storage. It's just the way that it works, at least the way I coach. So I want to say this. The very first thing you want to do, Rena, is instead of looking at all of it, miscellaneous is kind of vague, storage closets, I want you to pick one closet. Everybody, we can do this ourselves. Pick one area of your house. Maybe you've got a junk drawer. Maybe you've got a closet. Pick one place, and it's got miscellaneous stuff in it. Yeah, miscellaneous just means it's not really categorized, right? I want you to open it up and then start to play matchy-matchy. Start to play concentration. Oh, look, I have an ace, you have an ace, that type of thing. What I mean by that is look in there and see for things that match. Oh, look, there's a coat here. Oh, there's another coat. Okay, I'm going to start a pile of coats. Oh, there's a bunch of clothes. Okay, I'm going to categorize the clothes. I'm going to make a pile of pants. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to see what my categories are. Miscellaneous makes things overwhelming and confusing. The flip side, the opposite, is going to be just to categorize it. And not everything. You might get to a certain point where there's one of each of everything and there's no kind of through line or thread. But I'm going to bet you donuts to dollars that you have stuff that has a category. Categories. Categories. There we go. All right. Tiffany, excuse me, you're saying at least yours, Post-it notes, are on a page. Mine are all over my desk and computer. Then I start layering them. Notice, everybody, we got habits. Habits will get you to where habits created the life you have right now. Habits. You have a habit of doing that with your Post-its. You can change the habit and do something different with them literally right now in the next. You could stop looking at the computer here and you could, like me, and you could just listen and you could start to pull them down. And you could even just start to look, does that even make sense? You can change your habits at any time. Everybody. I'm empowering you to do so. There we go. Yeah. I love this because Mother of Pearl says, I'm trying to sort through my clothing and get rid of things. Calling it purging was stopping me. Of course, because purging doesn't sound good. It just reminds me of binging and purging and throwing up. Who wants to be throwing up? No, how about releasing items back into the wild? You know? Notice these. Making room for me. There you go, reframing it. Making room, making space for me. Letting go of what doesn't reflect my style. Letting go of something I don't want. What's this? Oh, I don't want it. Here, I'm going to let go of it. You know? Notice these things. What would you do to get rid of the overwhelm? I will tell you this. I love it. Category has really helped. Overwhelm. Always start with this. No matter who you are, always start with this first step. Checking in with your nervous system. Checking in with, as I said earlier in the call, how you feel. How you feel physically, how it sounds in your head. Is it busy? Are you overwhelmed? And I just want you to think of the word. These are the two words I always go to because they tend to come up all the time. They come up. And I want you to think of overwhelm. Notice the word overwhelm has the word over in it. When you're so over it, when you feel in over your head, when something's looming over you, that don't feel so good. When you start to feel how overwhelm affects your body, how do you feel when you're overwhelmed? Maybe you feel weighted down, maybe slumped shouldered, maybe like, heavy. When you notice these things, stop, slow down, put the gas foot down on the brake, slow down, notice it, and then do something about it. And what do you do about it? I'm going to tell you. Just think of the word down. Notice how many times I use the word down here to describe what you can do when you feel overwhelmed. I want you to think of the opposite is down. That's all you need to do. And then you can do the following in any particular order. I suggest with starting with slowing down, quieting down your surroundings. Turn down the volume on something. Breathing down, slow, breathing down into your belly, to the bottom of your lungs, down to the bottom of your lungs, slowing down your breathing, quieting down the situation, breathing down, slowing down. I wrote a bunch of them down, get it? Down, writing stuff down, settling down, calming down, quieting down. Moving your hands down from above and just going whoosh. Putting your hands down on your heart and just kind of pet yourself like a cat that's all like this. Just pet yourself, calm yourself down, quiet yourself down. And it's practice. It is practice. You are in the habit of feeling overwhelmed and probably not paying attention to it. And notice how it feels. Tiffany says it feels like someone has a remote in my hand to my head and flips the channel every 3 seconds. No, it's a habitual way of thinking. You can practice this. Okay? I love it. Abbott Elementary, focus down, calm down, write down, chunk down, all the downs. All the downs. That's what I call it because I like to make it shortcutty. I want to make it easy for you to remember this. Okay? When you get panicked, just me one, it says, okay, panic to me is like, Oh my God, I can't breathe. I'm hyperventilating. Shh, calm down, breathe down, slow down. Put your head down between your legs and breathe. Notice these things. Get your body, involve your body in this. You know, shake it down, shake your body down to the ground. You know, notice these things. Start small. Yeah, start small. Abbott Elementary, not even 20 minutes, and she says, Tupperware drawer is done. She and I talked this morning because I do one-on-one coaching with people, and she said, you know, I'm going to do my Tupperware drawer, and we walked through. We chunked down. We wrote down the process to go through it. It made sense. It felt good to her. It felt doable, and she understood why she was doing it was because she wanted things to look and feel and function easy. That's why we do this stuff. Start small. Chunk it down. Write it down. Put one foot down in front of the other. And what's the next one? All the downs. Okay? Think of this. Simpler 87. Is it just me to pile up collections no matter what it is? No. Piling is a habit. I know this because I grew up in a family of pilers. So big surprise. What did I learn to do? Not overtly. They're not like, here, pile your stuff up and never deal with it. Get overwhelmed and put it in a bag and say you'll get to it later, but then never get back to it. No. Can you imagine if somebody overtly tried to train you how they move? But man, we don't just get taught the stuff that somebody says to us and instructs us on. Remember, I always think of this phrase from back in the day, little pitchers have big ears. What it means is when you're a kid, you're absorbing everything. You're looking at the world around you and learning by looking and observing how to do certain things. So maybe not all of us, but many of us learned bad habits, unhelpful habits, bad is too judgy, unhelpful habits about how to deal with clutter. Others of us learned that somebody else is always doing the decluttering and taking care of me, so I don't even know what to do because I didn't learn how to do it because it was just done for me. Okay? Notice the habits you have got you where you are in your life today. Now, the cool thing is a number of years ago for me, I looked around and was like, oh, geez Louise, is this really? Okay. There were certain things I loved. Do not get me wrong. This is not an all or nothing. But what this is doing is, if you're looking around and you don't like your clutter, just know that you did it. But the great thing is that means you can undo it. If you got yourself here, when you recognize this, when you slow down, calm down, stop, and say, wait a minute, hold on. I want things to be different. Well, you made it this way. You can make it be different if you want to. Now, notice even some of the folks here on the call is saying, you know, habits they have. I purged my vitamin medicine cabinet this morning. You had the habit of letting it accumulate, and then you go through it and you get rid of the stuff that's expired and don't use anymore. Definitely Not a Cat is saying, I keep a box by the door. When I find something that needs to go, I put it in the box. Yeah, I do the same thing. I tend to actually make it more difficult on myself, but it's just a habit and I don't mind it. When I find stuff like that I don't want, I will put it down the basement. Now, I know that it's there, so I have a certain table, and when enough stuff accumulates and I feel like going and donating it, I will do that. Like I did, remember I was talking last week about vases? Yeah, vases. So I have 2 more vases down the basement because I pulled them out of circulation and I'm just using the one. I also noticed as I was putting away the dishes recently that my husband and I are always just using the Tervis tumblers in the front. We had this really cool set of like vintage glasses with like 50s, 60s flowers on them, maybe 70s flowers. Yeah, they're more like 70s flowers. And those were always just kind of on the sidelines, back kind of wallflowers. We were never reaching for those and grabbing them. And I thought, well, this is silly. They're really cute glasses. So I put them down in the basement. So I think I'm going to donate them or like give them to my friend who has a vintage collection. Notice the habits you have. You know, if your habits aren't giving you the result you want, change your habit. Okay? There we go. Vicky did the brave thing. Spent yesterday trying on clothes, cleaning the ones I wanted to keep, and ended up with 2 large boxes. You know? Okay, Simpler 87 is saying, I am still looking for the things I got rid of. You know why you're probably doing that too? Is because when you decluttered before, you weren't kind of intentional and feeling good about the stuff. You weren't making a conscious decision about what you were keeping and what you were leaving. You didn't slow down enough. You might have pitched and ditched in a rage cleaning. Anybody? Anybody ever rage clean here? Oh, screw it. I'm just going to throw it all away. Yeah. But notice, even Lucille is saying contemplating, you know? Notice these things. Mama Pepper, any lives on TikTok tomorrow? I don't know. I actually don't know. Let me check. I do. Yeah, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. See what's good? You know what I did? I wrote this stuff down. I wrote this stuff down to make it happen, and I can do this. Yeah, I used to stress clean. Now, there's nothing wrong with finding a way that reduces your stress, and if it makes your house cleaner, that's great. But how about this? How about paying attention to what is making you stressed and dealing with that? Yeah, but I rage clean, stress clean, sad clean. How about happy clean? How about putter and declutter, as I like to say it? How about this is fun? I'm making my house look the way I want. It's my Barbie dream house, and I'm taking care of my Barbie dream house. It's all in how you think about it and feel about it that makes the difference of whether you enjoy life or you're thinking it's a big old pain in the ass. There we go. Yeah, 80s Amazon 7. I use my garage as a staging area. I was talking a lot about staging and stages yesterday with clients. Same thing. The staging area down the basement is a midway ground before I actually donate stuff. I use my garage as a staging area and purge monthly if I don't need or think about the stuff there. Yeah, I do that sometimes. I did that once, and I'll share this with you. This is, I think, even before I became a decluttering coach. But I realized up in the very top shelves of our kitchen cupboards, one of them in particular was really kind of the miscellaneous. The stuff kind of got shoved there. Recyclable mugs and dribs and drabs of stuff, right? Just whatever. So I went through them, and I actually had a box in front of me. I said, do I think we're going to use this? If we do really use this on an often basis, let's just keep it here. But the stuff we haven't used in a while, I took it all and I put it in a box, and I put the date on it. And I said, check back in 6 months and see what we've gone down to use. Now, if we needed it, like I remember one for particulars was a soy sauce, kind of a bottle you can dip soy sauce out of. I probably thrifted it, but somebody probably stole it from a Chinese food restaurant. And it was like, oh yeah, we have it there. So I knew where the stuff was if I needed it. But I also noticed that if I didn't use it in 6 months, I probably wasn't going to use it in the next 6 months. So me having a staging area, an in-between place to calm my nervous system down, to say, I'm not going to be afraid to get rid of this and later regret it, but I'm also taking it out of circulation. And if I don't go back into that box in 6 months, I'm going to know that I pretty much didn't need it in 6 months. I won't need it. And then it was very easy for me, effortless, for me to just take that box and bring it to the thrift store. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh, good. Mama Pepper saying, thanks. I couldn't find my schedule. We clean together often. I love it. Speaking of schedules, though, I will tell you this. People, get on the mailing list. You don't have to, but I'm just saying, I just realized that I don't send out, I will be honest with you, when you get an email from me, that's because my human body and my brain said, ooh, you know what? I think I have some cool stuff I want to share with the people on the mailing list. It's not this regimented 28 days, send a follow-up, and then immediately. There's a few random things that are automated because I use a mailing service. But every email you get from me is genuinely written by me, and it's not on any kind of schedule except for the human schedule that I have. And I'm like, oh, you know what I want to share with people? I want to share some cool stuff. So I'm going to be sending out this email. I figured I would wait until after this TikTok live in case any of you want to sign up. DestinationDecluttered.com/join. DestinationDecluttered.com is my website. You can find out all sorts of stuff there. But a couple of things. One is I realized that I have a TikTok live scheduled tomorrow, and then for the next many days I've got some pop-ups, and then I'm traveling, so there's going to be a while. But then I looked ahead on my calendar. I looked ahead down the road, and I scheduled some TikTok lives for between the 20th and the 24th. Is it really only those many days? It seems like more of that. The 20th and the 24th, so I know the schedule before you do, because I made it. But I want to share that with you, but I'm only going to share the schedule with the people on the mailing list. Now, the people on TikTok who are not on the mailing list, you'll find out at some point, but the people on the mailing list get first dibs. Speaking of first dibs, you also get first dibs because I'm going to put some consultation. I put some additional consultation slots on my calendar if you want me to be your one-on-one coach. Okay? It starts with a consultation. Wicked easy. It's free. We make sure we're a good fit coaching-wise, price-wise, length of coaching, what it's like, what it gets you, what you find out, what you're getting when you pay for coaching. So that starts with a consultation. People on the email list get first dibs. Another first dibs you'll get is somebody mentioned, this is true. I record these TikTok lives and they are uploaded to YouTube, Destination Decluttered on YouTube. But again, I always like to increase. I'm calling it the members only list. So you are a member if you're on the mailing list. Rest assured, anytime I mention members only, if you're on the mailing list, you are a member. I just crack up at the fact that I think of members only as those goofy jackets from the 80s, because I remember them from high school. But I call it the members only list, and members get invited to a monthly Zoom. The members get first dibs on seeing the July TikTok live recordings. If you're not on the members list and you don't have the link, you have to wait until August to see any of these ones from July. There's another couple of cool things. Oh, like for example, we talked about maybe doing a Trello tutorial or workshop. Any of these workshops I do, and I will say this, some of them are going to be free and some are going to be a little bit of money paid in so you feel like you're getting a value. I will expand the time. I realize this. What I'll do is I'll make it like a 90-minute thing for like $10, something so minimal that you will come back away with that with some organization, some tools, a strategy. You'll get all sorts of things. It's only like $10. I will do that, but the only people who can even get invited to those are the people on the mailing list. So you're all set. Okay, yeah, see? Exactly. Gigi Gino, I remember those jackets back in the day. There we go. All right, Laura Gibbons Voorhees, this is so hard. Why is it so hard? I see your little thing. Maybe it's because it's wicked hot out? Yeah, I get it. The wonderful thing about being hot outside is it makes you stay inside where the air conditioning is if you're lucky enough to have it, or where a fan is, or maybe down your basement, wherever it's cool. Okay? Here's the thing, Laura Gibbons Voorhees, I want to share with you. Notice where I said earlier that decluttering comes before buying any kind of storage products. Decluttering comes before organizing. And if you start with your decluttering and then go to regular cleaning, you will have less to clean. You will have fewer items to clean, so it will make your regular cleaning easier when you declutter. So think of something you regularly clean. Is it laundry? Is it dishes? Is it, I don't know, something? Take a look at the clothes you have. I bet you could it's going to make laundry easier if you do a little load of laundry and then you open up your drawers and or your closet, and it's easy for you to put things away because you have space in your closet because you got rid of the stuff you didn't want. Okay? An order of things. You know that there's certain things like a recipe. A recipe, you don't start with the chocolate chips and then add the egg and then as an afterthought put the flour in and then mix that up and then, oh, that's right, there's sugar. If you do things in a certain order, it just makes it easier. Decluttering, I mean, just think of the common sense-ness of it. If you declutter prior to cleaning, you will have fewer items to clean. You also will have cleared off surfaces from clutter, so the surfaces will be easier to clean. You also, because I talk about surface, stored, and sentimental, we won't even get to sentimental because that has nothing to do with everyday cleaning. It kind of does, but surfaces are decluttered, easy to wipe down. Storage has the right amount of stuff in it, not too much, so that when you go to put away the laundry, put away the dishes, there's easy for you, there's a home for those things, it goes in, you shut it, and you're done. Okay? Yeah, Erin, and now I want a chocolate chip cookie myself. This is where my brain goes, okay? Of course, I'm starting with the chocolate chips. And then I would probably eat the entire bag of chocolate chips and be like, oh, whatever, cookies, they're overrated. I say this because there is a way you can do this that is maybe definitely easier than what you're currently doing now. Let me show you the easy way to do this. Let me share with you the easy way. Let me share it so you have the easy way too, so you can live an easier life. Oh my God, my life is so easy right now, clutter-wise and otherwise. I freaking love it. But I don't want to be the only person. I'm not greedy about that. I want to share it. I want everybody to have an easy life. And this is why. Because when you are not using all of your brain cells and body cells on surviving in your home and maintaining a home, just maintaining, where did that even come from? You have the opportunity to go make changes elsewhere in your life. When you learn how to declutter your home, it gives you the skills to declutter your life and to make space. See what we do there? A couple of levels here, people. We make space in our home for what's important to us. When you learn how to do that, you make space in your life for what's important to you. And then you know how to do the things that are important to you, even if they seem scary. Okay? So just notice the ease. I joke, this is not going to be the name of my book, but I think it would be wicked funny because I just talk about easiness all the time. Simply easy. So I joke, you know that movie All About Eve with Bette Davis? It's going to be a bumpy night. I think that was the one. And now I sounded like Bette Davis and Cary Grant, but I just watched a lot of old-timey movies as a kid, on the Saturday morning or the Saturday afternoon matinee. 1970s. Oh, too funny. All About Ease. Easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay? I'm not doing this to make it difficult. I freaking hate things when they're too difficult. I tune out when there's too many steps. Even a recipe, I'll be like, oh, I like that. And then they're like, and then I did this and I did that. And then I'm like, oh, forget it. I'm just going to buy it pre-made. Keep it simple. How can we make what you're doing even simpler? I'm really good at that. I was a visual merchandiser growing up. I was an art history major. I grew up in a cluttered household, and the only place I could control was my own room. So I did the best with the skills I had, but I made a room look good. Now, did I know how to deal with clutter? No, because I had never been taught. But because of the different jobs I've had over my lifetime, I have learned to get really good at this stuff. I love doing it. To me, when I see people struggle with clutter and I know how to do it, decluttering is like my love language. How can I help you? I can't solve your, heartbreak, but I can totally help you declutter so you feel good about the space you're in. Okay? And yeah, Redhead Homestead says, I am so glad I decluttered my home before deep cleaning for the summer break. Yeah, just makes it easier. Okay, now WV Kimchi says, everything feels fraught with emotional attachment. Now, just even look at your choice of words. I do this all the time, both when I coach people, because I coach people one-on-one, and all we do is talk, and especially when all the way that you have to communicate to me is the words you're writing down in the comments. Notice, we're gonna lovingly dismantle you just to see what's involved in this. First of all, everything. To me, everything, any of those big kind of generalized terms, everything feels is a good one. Everything is too big. Everything is overwhelmed. Everything, every single thing in my house feels. Feeling is a really good verb to use because it does make you feel something. But it could make you feel good, but no, you're saying it feels fraught. Fraught. Fraught, Johnny. There's my Boston accent right there. Feels fraught. Everything feels fraught with emotional attachment. I have attached an emotion to this mug. This isn't just a mug that came off of an assembly line in Ireland. I was thinking I might have said like made in China. It came off the assembly line. I bought it. I attached an emotion from it. This reminds me of the time I went to Ireland and then, blah, blah, blah. I attached an emotion. But how about this? I can unattach the emotion. I could, seriously, if I wanted to, I could put this in a Goodwill bag today and feel fine about it. But notice, when you think everything, that's overwhelm. When you feel fraught, when you're feeling overwhelmed and fraught, you're not going to be feeling like decluttering is easy. And it is easy. But you're going to be feeling this. Your head says something, your heart says something, your hand is like, oh, no, everything I touch is going to be fraught with emotion. Now, I'm doing it a bit like, I'm exaggerating for effect, but that's how we feel on the inside. But let's calm it down, okay? Let's just calm it down. WV Kimchi, I spy with my little eye. Play this game with me. Look around your house and pick out one item that is not fraught with emotional attachment. A carton of milk, a crumpled up napkin, a sock on the floor. If you find even one item, you have totally dispelled the truth of everything feels fraught. No, some things do. I call things with emotional attachment, what do I call them? Surface stored sentimental. But not everything in your house is sentimental. Everything in your house has a story, but the stories make you feel different things. I can look at something and say, yes, I bought that at Target, versus, oh my gosh, my grandmother gave that to me when I was 10 years old. Two stories, two different feelings. Okay? So just notice this. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah Larkin. Nice to see you. Thank you, Beth, for sharing your wisdom and perspective. You know what? Maybe it's because I'm getting old. I have perspective. You know what perspective is? Is me looking back, reflecting. I have hindsight and foresight. I look back and I see what I did that didn't get me where I wanted to go to. But now I look back and I see the things I did to now, right here in the very present, be able to honestly share with you how much I freaking love my life. Every single aspect of it. 98% of it. I mean, I don't love going to the dentist, but you know what I love? I love knowing that I can go to the dentist because I have dental insurance. I pay for dental insurance for peace of mind. I know that if I have a trouble with a tooth, I can go to the dentist and get it taken care of. I love my life, and I want you to love your life too. I don't want you to love my life. You can if you want, but I'm good. I want you to love your life. And one of the ways you can do that is by taking care of yourself first. Notice I said, before any of the decluttering, you check in on yourself. Your head, your heart, your hands. Did you get enough sleep? Are you eating okay? Take care of yourself, and the decluttering will be easier. Notice when you feel good, certain things are just effortless. When you don't feel so good, things can be a freaking chore. Work on yourself first. And I say work on yourself, but love yourself. Hydrate yourself. Feed yourself tasty foods that are healthy for it. Oh my God, my body the other day, I had been eating crap over the holidays. I had a salad at somebody's house and my body was like, yes, finally, something that's actually nutritious. And I was like, oh shit, you're right. I have been eating kind of poorly, haven't I? Okay? Love yourself. And the decluttering is going to be easier. And if you don't love yourself, let's start there. You deserve it. You deserve to love yourself. Practice that. Practice that. I can look in the mirror and I can see faults. I can look in the mirror and see awesomeness. It all depends on which one makes me feel better. And I'm in the stage of my life where I'm just going to tell myself the stuff that makes me feel better, because when I feel better, I do better. And notice this, Lisa Conte Timberlake is saying, after following you, I've decluttered my closet and extra bedroom. And here's the part that I love the best. It feels so good. The only reason I want you to declutter is because I want you to feel good. I want you to feel good. And I also would try to feel good while you're doing it. Yeah. Rena says helping people declutter is definitely one of my love languages too. Never even thought of that. I think of it too because there's certain things I don't do. I don't make I have no interest in cooking or making casseroles. But man, when people are grieving, I will, decluttering and helping them deal with stuff that they're overwhelmed with is something I can handle. I do this professionally. I do it personally. I do it for myself. You know? Yeah, well, here's a funny, Abbott Elementary. Isn't it funny? You and I started working together. I get this from a lot of clients. They say, oh my God, I love decluttering. Yeah, which is surreal because you didn't used to, because you loved to clutter. Now it's different. You can find things easily. Things stay nice and neat. You know? Yeah, Rosemary, you're not alone in this. How about having to clean out your deceased parents' home still full of childhood memories? All right. I say the same thing applies, but the percentages are going to be different. Hear me out. Think of the items in that home still under the 3 main categories. I keep it simple. 3 is a magic number. Yes, it is. 3, surface, stored, sentimental. Now, childhood home, deceased parents, you betcha there's going to be a greater percentage of stuff that's sentimental, that makes you feel feelings, that's going to make you cry and laugh and cry and be mad and then sad and then angry and then laugh. All the feels, there's going to be a percentage of that. You know that going in. However, let's go to the slightly less deep end of the pool, the stored clutter. I bet there's a bunch of stuff that your parents didn't know what to deal with, so they stored it, that now you have to go through. The wonderful thing is, Rosemary and everybody, this is all about you. This, especially now that they're gone, you have carte blanche. You can do whatever the heck you want. So what do you want from that home to be put in your home? Do you want any of it? You don't have to. You do not have to save anything from anybody's house. I just want to get that out there. You may feel like you can't, but I'm guaranteeing if you don't want to. But I want you to want me. I want you to want to have some things. If you have some things that you're bringing into your home from a deceased parent's house, I want you to want it to be there, not be guilted into feeling like you have to have it there. Okay? So there's childhood memories, but then your parents probably have stuff that was in cupboards that's like, oh, whatever. That stuff you can easily get away. Even more shallow than that, there's probably some stuff that has no stories whatsoever. There's a bag of sugar that they bought. There's some stuff, there's going to be stories. You can make up stories. We do it all the time. Oh man, Mom was going to make those cookies. You can easily get yourself into the trauma and the drama. I'm not saying there's not a point for that. I'm not saying don't feel the feelings, but also don't let the feelings stop you from cleaning out the house and just getting the thing that's ahead of you into your rearview mirror so you can go live your life. You are going to feel feelings. You are. But knowing that going in, knowing that the feelings barely last 2 minutes. I've heard 1 minute and 47 seconds. Time it the next time you start crying and just set your timer and see how long you actually cry. It's going to be a lot shorter than you think. I know this because I get choked up on these TikToks talking about friends who have passed and who knows, random stuff. I got choked up the other day because of an egg beater that my friend gave me, and my friend just died on Saturday night. However, notice, I can feel that in me, but it's okay. I allow it to kind of rise like a wave and then fall. I could have cried right there. It would have been fine. It would have been over. Remind yourself of your humanity. You are allowed to feel feelings. If anything, that is one of the great strengths you have, is you are feeling feelings. That means you have a heart. You do care. You have love in your heart. You have some pain, but you've got some love in your heart. Okay? You can do this. Okay? Yeah. Kate is saying, I am so overwhelmed. Remember, we talked about overwhelm comes up all the time, people. Overwhelmed with my table in my craft room. I will make a card in an 8 by 8 inch space. You know why? Because you feel like you don't know how to deal with it because it's too much. Think of overwhelm as just a fancy word for too much. And I want you to think of down. Just think of down. Overwhelm, down. It's over here. I'm overwhelmed. It's too much. No, I'm going to look down. And how about this? You cleaned an 8 by 8 inch space out. How about looking at the next 8 by 8 inch space? Could you deal with just the stuff that's right there? Notice what we're doing. We're chunking it down. You're not looking at the whole table. You're just saying, okay, how about that next thing? Oh, you know what? I see a category. If I see a category, I'm going to collect up all the stuff that's cardstock. I'm going to put it in that thing. Oh, you know what? I see another category. Nothing but pens. Remember that TV? Remember that store, Nothing But Pens? I kid. But I'm going to put my pens there, my cardstock there. Oh, look, there's my glitter. I'm going to get all my little tubes of glitter. There are ways you can approach it. And Abbott Elementary, I think you will attest that it's the same process with everything. Once you learn this process with one thing, it's a lather, rinse, repeat. It's a copy and paste. You will know what to do because this is what you do. It's like learning how to drive your car means you can drive everybody's car. Okay? I don't know, Scoops, why do you want to put on Cheap Trick? Because I want you to want to declutter. You know? Yeah. And Rosemaria says, had family take things and I still have stuff to go through. Hardest part was selling their home. Yeah, you're going to feel the emotions. I can say it very diplomatically without a lot of emotion now because it's still abstract. It's still up through the windshield. I can look at it and be like, yeah, I'm good. When I get there and I realize that we're selling the house that I grew up in, I will shed some tears. But I also will feel just relief. Relief to have it not my responsibility anymore. Okay? Yeah, so Joy is asking, and I got to keep an eye on the time. We've got about 12 minutes, and in case we've just met, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, Destination Decluttered, here on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. Website, destinationdecluttered.com, free mailing list. I do paid coaching. Boom. Surface, stored, sentimental. Those, to me, are the easy 3 categories of your clutter. Surface, pretty simple. It's the shallow end of the pool. It's the most surfacey area because it's just the stuff on top. It's superficial. It's just the surface. So it's anything on a horizontal surface in your home that the horizontal surface it's on is really not where it belongs. This happens during the daily living of your house. You know, I run into the house from the grocery store. I dump all my stuff on the top of the washing machine and dryer because I need to run and make a U-turn because I typically am always having a pee when I get home. Now, the difference is I now am in the habit of then after I pee, after I feel better, notice peeing makes you feel better. Then I can be like, okay, now I can go back and then put those things away where they belong. Tightening up the time to shorten the time where things are on the surface when they don't belong. Surface clutter. Tables, counters, floors, that type of thing. The next layer down is stored. So I say this, I like to rhyme it because I like to make it easy. Notice surface, stored, sentimental. I'll begin with S, alliterations. This is where I try to make them rhyme. Stored clutter. Behind doors and drawers. So a door is a door to a closet. A door is a door to a cupboard. A door is a door to an entire room. A door is a door to an attic or a basement or a garage. A door is a door to an entire home filled with stuff that you don't even want to get to because it's not even yours. A drawer. You've got drawers in your kitchen. You've got drawers in your bathroom. You've got drawers in your bedroom. Those are places where you can hide your clutter. And so the surface looks okay, but you know that it ain't working for you when you go open that door or drawer and you can't find anything and you can't put anything away. Surface, stored. Stored is a different layer. There's a method of dealing with that too. Abbott Elementary knows because she just in 20 minutes or so did her Tupperware drawer. Okay. The last one is sentimental. Sentimental is that category that evokes most of the feelings. The stuff that you save for sentimental reasons. I love you for sentimental reasons. I save this mug for sentimental reasons. Because it tells me the story of when I went to Ireland, I don't use it as a mug because the handle is too small and it doesn't hold enough tea, but I still like it, so I use it for my highlighters. However, these are the mugs I do use. I like the handle size. I like the fact that it's pretty sturdy. It holds a lot of tea. I made it with a little thing, I make a little inspiring stuff for myself. Noticing that you have stuff in your home that makes you feel feelings, you just ask yourself, do I want to feel this feeling? Do I have a feeling of love when I see this? Or guilt? Joy or obligation? Notice the flip sides. Actually, that's a thing you can do too. When you're trying to calm yourself down, they call it bilateral stimulation in coaching. You can go from side to side, on the one hand, on the other hand. Fear, love, judgment, curiosity. You can disturb the energy in your brain by being like, wait, which side are we on? Oh, suddenly I was feeling all this way and now I'm not so sure. Okay? Yeah. Went to see someone whose daughter passed. She asked us to take some of her items. It felt lousy. Yeah. You know what? Notice that person was trying, they were coming up with an idea of how to declutter the house. Yeah. Things bring up feelings. Notice that there's an energy surrounding things. You can change the energy around something. You can remove the item with energy, You can do things about it, though. You can. All right? Yeah, obligation. So on this side, we're talking about the opposites. So pretty much the only opposite, when I do this, and this is one of the rare times I would say look at the screen, the only one that I really do the opposite, where there's a line top to bottom, like in the horizontal axis, we have over, and then we have down. Yeah, so up above is too much, overwhelm, and the opposite is down, calm down, slow down, whatever. But a lot of this stuff is on the other axis, the vertical axis. And it's, we're divided in, you've got on the one hand, you can feel crappy. On the other hand, you can feel good. On the one hand, you can feel overwhelmed. In the other hand, you can feel overjoyed. What's the opposite? Notice the way you feel good you feel that's on kind of the not so good. The fear, I got a list of them here. Fear, stuck, judgment, not trusting, shame. This is hard. This is complicated. I'm overwhelmed. I'm unsure. This is detrimental, unhelpful thought. This is what we call the problem state. I am here to remind you or to let you know for the very first time live here on TV that there's another side to the story. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I don't know, I read that in a sciencey thing, probably in Mrs. Navin's class now. Mrs. McDonald, I think. For every unhelpful word that you have, a word that makes you feel bad, there's another word that's going to make you feel better. There is. Beneficial, getting started, curiosity, love, trusting, forgiveness, feeling better. Instead of being hard, it's easy. Instead of being complicated, it's simple. Instead of being boring, it's fun. Instead of being stuck, you're started. You're not being judgy, you're being curious. You're not in fear, you're in love. Notice these things. Yeah. Rena, I have not seen Kids Inside Out 2. I did see the first one. Yeah. Notice all I did was talk about words, but man, what was that? I always think of either the Monkees or a little nursery rhyme. Sticks and stones break the bones, names can never hurt me. Names can hurt you. Words can hurt. Somebody calls you a mean name. If you believe it to be true and you can't do anything about it, you're likely to believe it and then you're going to feel crappy. But if you say, you don't even know what you're talking about, Or, you know what? Okay, I heard that word, but I'm going to do something about it. And this was where I bring up like your backseat drivers. That voice in your head that says no, that says fear, guilt, overwhelm, exhaustion. I want to say to every one of those, there's an opposite. I want you to even just start to think about that because it feels so much better. You know, I wake up feeling crappy because I ate and drank too much the night before. I say, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to eat as much. I'm going to eat some slightly better food. I'm going to hydrate. I'm going to get my body moving. When you feel better, you're going to do better. Getting your home decluttered. Decluttering your home yourself. Seriously? This is why I do one-on-one coaching and I don't come into your house to do it. Because I want to teach you the skill of doing it to prove to yourself that you can do things that you didn't know how to do before. To prove to you that you can learn new skills. That you can do things that you were afraid of. That made you feel crappy. Because as soon as you realize you can change your crappy feelings into another one, the sky is the limit. It's not just about clutter. It's about career decisions. It's about money decisions. It's about life decisions. It's about people in your life. It's about hobbies. It's about spending your time, spending your energy, spending your life. What do you want to spend your life doing and feeling? If you've been spending your life feeling crappy, maybe you want to stop and do something different so the years ahead of you don't feel as crappy. This is why I do coaching. And the great way to learn all of this kind of overwhelming, abstract kind of life coachy stuff is making your house look and feel better. Because you're moving things, you're making decisions. Decluttering is decision making about what you want in your life and what you don't. Decision making is asking yourself, what do I want in my life? What do I want in my, pantry? What do I want in this one drawer? I want only my forks, knives, and spoons, and my steak knives go up there, and my little cocktail forks go behind it. What do I want? If you're like me, you maybe were not encouraged when you were growing up to even ask that, or even when you did organically, because that's how you want to live. You know what I want to do? I want to live at a beach house and go on adventures with the monkeys and have musical interludes and, hang out with cute boys that make good music. No, you can't do that. No, you gotta go like work in an office or something. You gotta go wear a skirt and a button-down shirt and pantyhose and be uncomfortable and type. You can't go live with the monkeys. You have to go type. So I went to school. I resisted learning how to type because I have an inner rebel. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll show you. I won't learn how to type. But then all I could work is retail. But I changed it. Now I live the life of being on a Monkees episode. I got cute musicians coming to our house. I'm married to a cute musician. They make great music. All because I decided to go for what I wanted. And quiet down the people who said no. And be like, okay, I hear you, but yeah, still I'm going to do this over here. You can do it too. It's not as scary as you think. What's more scary to me, honestly, was looking at myself on my deathbed and being pissed that I had this entire life and I wasted it being afraid and not doing the things I wanted to. Yeah, exactly, Erin, we're told the opposite when we grow up. Totally. So let's notice that now and then change it. I am so glad I started this journey, like literally when I was in my early, like it took me being 30 to be like, whoa, whatever is going on here, if I keep on doing this, I'm not going to like my life at all. So I started making incremental changes. And every time I did that, things got a little bit better and felt a little bit better. So I started trusting my own judgment and trusting that what I wanted was the thing that was going to make me happy. Then there were some things that totally kept me stuck. Fear of freaking everything. Then I learned to calm down the fear or just blast through it. But it's so much easier to calm it down than blast through it. Buying this house, I bawled my eyes out in panic that we were making the wrong decision. It was the best decision we ever made. I was so fearful of making a bad decision. Yeah, Dorothy, we can change our future by changing what we do today. And here's the wonderful thing, because I only have a minute left. I have a minute left, but I want to say to you, you don't need to change everything in your life today. You can change one thing. And personally, I think the most powerful thing to begin to change in your life at the very beginning and continuing is up here in your head and down here in your heart. Changing the way you think will change the way you feel. And when you think different and you feel different, you're going to do different. Head, heart, hands. Yeah, Gina, fearful of decisions is me my whole life. You can calm down the fear, practice making decisions, and then you realize decisions are awesome. You can decide on things and make them happen. Okay? Seriously, I want to help you do this. This is really important for all of us on the planet, especially we ladies, okay? And the generations that are coming up after us. Let's be the generation that changes the dynamic with our clutter and learns how to say, what do I want that's different than what I have? And you know what to do to get it, okay? I feel like that's a little bit of a mic drop moment. I have to hop in the shower. Speaking of what I want to do, what I want to happen is that at 12:30, I'm getting a pedicure. And then I'm coming back home and I have some consultations and I have some coaching. And because we've been so busy these last many days, I'm going to fart around on the couch tonight and read a book and scroll on TikTok, and it's going to be great. I hope you have a great day too. But just remember, you can change the stuff that you don't like. Boom. I'll see you tomorrow.